We are coming to you from Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. Yes, Jose Abreu, Alexa Ramirez, Ivy Garcia, and our Sox as they get set to butt heads with Paul Molitor's Minnesota Twins. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrell, since we get set to bring you Game 2 of this 4-game series. And if you missed the opener last night, you didn't miss the dadgum thing. It was bad from the first inning all the way through to the ninth. We got beat 12-2, and one of the culprits of that was Brian Dozier.
Brian Dozier is in just his third full season in the major leagues, but already, including last night, he's got 3 home runs against Chris Sale. Last night he got a couple of hits. Here was the first. He drops it into center field, and Danny Santana scored all the way from first base. But he saved his best for his next at-bat. That was a fastball out over the plate. A 3-run homer. At the time it made it 9-2, and for all practical purposes, that was it. So Dozier keeps getting better. He can steal a base, and we saw he can hit the ball out of the park.
Well, the pitching matchup tonight is Jose Quintana for us, and last time out, he was good.
He was very good against Kansas City. He went 7 innings. It was the Quintana that we're used to seeing. He got the cutter inside to the right-handers. The changeup was good, and he dropped the curveball over the plate. On the other side of the equation, Kyle Gibson. You're going to know early with Kyle. He's a sinker-slider pitcher. If he throws ground balls and gets ahead, he's going to have a good night. When he wins, his ERA is below 2. When he loses, his ERA is over 8. So he's either very good or very bad, and we're going to find out early which is which.
Well, we have played 10 road games this year, and we have won 2 of them. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to Target Field on a beautiful night for baseball. Temperatures very moderate for this time of year. The wind, not much of a factor at all. And the Sox are hoping to get off to an early start against Kyle Gibson. He's a sinker baller. They like the ball down. And last night, it was just all Twins all the time. And Paul Molitor, the Hall of Fame manager in his first year with the Twins, looking out, he realizes his ball club has absorbed a lot of injuries early and hoping that they can come together. I think every manager feels the same way at this point. They know that, one, it is early, and two, in most cases, they haven't played up to what the manager thought they were going to do when they left spring training. That certainly can hold true for the Sox as well as the Twins. Teams have met 4 times. They've split the games in half. So 3 games remaining on this road trip, 3 games remaining in this series. And you see the umpires meeting around home plate. Sox come into this one 8-11, 5.5 games in back of Kansas City. Kansas City 15-7, half game ahead of Detroit, who's 15-8. Milwaukee has had a very tough go on the road. They're 3-11 with their loss to the Cubs today, and the Sox 2-8 on the road. Something that they would like to turn around. They've got 3 games on the road to try to take advantage of the Twins. Let's take a look at how Robin is going to line up our Sox for the game this evening. It's going to be Micah Johnson in the 1 spot leading off. Adam Eaton not playing tonight. Alexei Ramirez in the 2 spot. Then it's Melky Cabrera in left. Jose Abreu at first. The designated hitter is Adam LaRoche. Avisail Garcia, who's been swinging the bat very well, is in right field. Then you've got Connor Gillespie, Tyler Flowers, and J.B. Shuck getting the nod in center field tonight. The defense and how they'll line up behind Kyle Gibson, left to right, Eduardo Escobar, Shane Robinson, and Torrey Hunter, back where he started here in Minnesota. Then it's Plouffe, Santana, Dozier, and Maurer in the infield with Kurt Suzuki behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Kyle Gibson. Gibson out of the University of Missouri. He's 6'6", 215, 220 pounds, something along those lines. As you can see, the ERA is up there. He's 1-2. Left-handers have hurt him. And he's got 12 walks and only 6 strikeouts in 22 1/3 innings. So he's had some trouble getting the ball over the plate. And it'll depend on that sinker slider and if he's hitting his spots. So tonight, Greg Gibson behind the plate. Marvin Hudson is at first base. Chad Fairchild is at second. And the crew chief, Jim Joyce, is at third. So we're ready to play baseball as Micah Johnson strolls to the plate. And that means I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox Baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us as we try to get this thing turned around on the road. Steve just told you 2-8.
Pretty unbelievable.
But it's
to
not
this
even
point.
that. It's how we have played. That's the key. And the first pitch of the ball game is a strike. Before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Here at the ballpark, 339 down the left field line, 328 down the right field line. 365 in right center, but that's very deceiving. 377 in left center, 411 out there in the deepest part of the ballpark. One and two the count. And we even outscored 17-6 in the first inning this year. So last night they started a 6-5 right-hander. Tonight they're starting a 6-6 right-hander. And tomorrow they're starting a 6-7 right-hander. Pitch well inside. Count evens at 2. Foul tip hung on to by Suzuki. So 1 down.
Gibson has not been a strikeout pitcher this year, so that's somewhat surprising. And left-handers have hit 400 against him. But this time, good movement. That sinker moving away and down. Micah gets the top of the baseball, but it sticks in Suzuki's glove.
Alexei, first ball hunting, pops it up right side. Mauer's got the play. And the ball. So right now let's check out our picks to click this evening. Maranzio, our director and crew, went with Alexei. Steve's going with Adam. And my good friend Joe Fruzina. Fruzina and his beautiful family. We're going to go with J.B. Shuck. Melky comes in, hitting at 276. Sox hitting at 241 as a team. Melky was 2 for 5 with an RBI last night. Fakes the bunt.
If you're a little patient with Gibson, odds are overwhelming that he's going to have some trouble with the strike zone. And even
softly hit off the end of the bat. So 1-2-3 inning. And after half inning of play, our guys nothing and their guys coming to bat.
Molitor's going to line up his twins. It's Dozier, Hunter, and Mauer at the top. Then it's Plouffe, Suzuki, and Escobar in the middle, with Vargas, Robinson, and Santana rounding it out. The defense, an outfield lineup behind Jose Quintana, left to right, Melky Cabrera, J.B. Shuck, and Abisail Garcia in the outfield. With Connor Gillespie, Alexei Ramirez, Micah Johnson, and Jose Abreu in the infield. Tyler Flowers behind the plate tonight. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jose Quintana, who last time out against Kansas City threw the ball exceptionally well. Hoping for more of the same tonight. The two guys that have really plagued him in this lineup are Hunter and Mauer, and they're hitting back-to-back in the 2 and 3 spot.
So here is Dozier. Byron hitting at 220. A couple of homers, 10 knocked in. First ball hunting, fouls it back into the crowd. And a nice catch by a youngster who brought his glove. Boy, there's a happy camper. Dozier has faced Quintana 25 times, has 5 hits. That's hit high in the right field, Bobby. Steve told you last night, if you're a right-handed hitter and you got designs on going and putting those bleachers, you better take a lot of 5-hour energy, I'll tell you that.
Well, you may be able to get the overhang on occasion, but you're not going to hit it over that scoreboard. And what you said about the 365 being not really telling the whole story, it's 365, but the wall is 22 feet high, and you got to really crank it to get it out.
That's the longest playing 365 in baseball.
It is that.
You know how you're playing golf sometimes and you'll come up on a par 3 that says 150, so you hit your club, 150 club, and you're about 20 yards short.
A lot.
Plays
yes.
like 180. Torrey Hunter, 1 for 4 last night, 8 for 23 lifetime off Quintana. And we'll just have to watch if Jose's going to get it and throw it like he did in his last start against Kansas City. First 3 he did not. He took a lot of time and did not fare well.
Well, the acid test is going to be when he does get somebody on. Because if he's sailing along, he's going to keep his rhythm. When he's had some trouble in the past, it's when he gets base runners on, that's when he really slows it down.
There's a strike and the count 3-1. That's foul. So a full count. And tonight, I believe, I was talking with the Dutchman, Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven, prior to the game. Tonight is the first day, first game that the umpires can have the pitchers throw more quickly. They use April as a tryout month, and tonight it starts the rule. Now, how much time? Probably is going to wind up to be individual to the umpires. I'm sure there'll be one that's definitive, but you know how definitive that is with when you got all these different umpires.
Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of that, but they want the hitter to stay in the box at least with one leg and make the pitchers just throw it, move along the ball game if they can. One troubling stat over the past couple of weeks with Jose Quintana, and that is hitters have a .409 on base percentage when he gets them down 2 strikes. That's an awfully high number to have the hitter down in the count.
Once again, the 3-2. Torrey, you throw him something off speed high and he might come out of his shoes trying to get there.
Had a big year last year with Detroit, showing that he still had plenty of play left and knew he could probably go to a contender, but wanted to come back here and finish it up in the place he started it, with the Twins.
And that's back through the middle. So after an extended at bat, Torrey wins the bout.
On Menard's pitch tracks, we'll take a look at a fastball up in the zone, and Torrey Hunter just goes up and gets it. We told you the problems with a 2-strike count. That was a very good at bat as Hunter fouled off good pitch after good pitch before finally getting one up and out over the plate.
Mauer hitting at .318. And he is the .319 career hitter.
And for whatever reason, he seems to see the ball against Jose a lot better than most. Of course, Mauer has won 3 batting titles, so he's seen the ball pretty well in the course of his career, but he's particularly enjoyed this lefty-lefty matchup.
Well, we touched on it last night. He has yet to hit on in the season. And he's a big man. He's 6'5", right at 230 pounds. He has plenty of power. That's not an issue.
But if he's going to drive in a whole lot of runs, they probably don't care if he hits the ball out of the park. If he can get to 100 runs batted in, they don't care if it's with no home runs.
But again, what my point was is his approach. As we talked about a guy like Wade Boggs, who led the league in hitting almost every year.
Ichiro Suzuki.
Ichiro with big time power. Yeah. Wade Boggs with big time power. You didn't want to go against him in the home run hitting contest.
No.
But yet, when the game started, they just want to hit line drives. There's the strike. This is his He's played 319 games in this ballpark, and he's hit only 13 home runs.
By contrast, Jose Bautista's played 14 games in this ballpark. He's hit 11 home runs.
Yeah.
And he hits him in the third deck in left field.
Well, since he changed his approach at the plate with that leg kick, Grand Canyon can't hold him. Okay, take your time and rack them up. After one, no score. It'll be Abreu, LaRoche, and Garcia. Jose, 1 for 4 with an RBI last night. Comes in hitting at .293, 5 homers. He's driven in 15. Takes ball 1. Poof.
That's one of the things that Gibson is going to do to the right-handers, and he did it on the first 2 pitches to Jose, and that is go down and in with his sinker. He's much more comfortable arm side, which to a right-hand hitter is inside. To a left-hand hitter, it's outside. And he wants to run that ball down and in and throw ground balls. If he does that, he got a chance to be pretty tough.
So here is LaRoche. Adam hitting at .191, 3 homers. He's driven in 9, and they have a little bit of a shift on. Dozier was out there in short right field, but that's a base hit, so you can cancel a post-game show. But what just Steve alluded to, another ground ball.
Kept that ball down, and he kept it away from LaRoche. Surprising thing was they didn't have Santana over on the first base side of second. If they were going to make a shift like that, as they usually do with Adam, they'll play the shortstop exactly where he got that base hit. But fortunately they didn't, and he's aboard.
And here's Garcia. Avi, a 309 homer. He's driven in 4.
If the South get a chance tonight, they're going to run on Suzuki. He's had some problems throwing out would-be base stealers.
Well, Adam is not one of those guys.
No, that would presuppose that you get your runners on. and Adams not going anywhere. What Avi would love to do is lay off that sinker inside, down, and off the plate.
Well, sinker ballers, you got to make them get it up. Fastball pitchers, you got to make them get it down. Two seam versus four seam. 2-1 to count. Ball hit hard. Robinson back. He can't get it. That ball was absolutely crushed. So now I don't think he's going to be held at third as Robinson with a good accurate arm out there hits the cutoff man, and a good job by Joe McEwing knowing that. So a ringing double off the bat of Garcia.
You see that fastball? It's not down where he wanted it. It's thigh high, middle in, and Avi just cranks it over Robinson's head. Adam taking a look. Hasn't quite turned it on yet. Doesn't know if Robinson's going to make a stab at the last instant, so he pulls it up and a chance to break on top with Connor Gillespie.
Connor was 1 for 4 last evening, and he has faced Gibson 5 times, has a couple of hits.
With that double, Avi now has a 7-game hitting streak.
That's probably the hardest ball he's hit all year. He gets it up, it's out of here.
He got the pitch he wanted. Gibson missed with it, and Avi took advantage. Infield is back. They're going to concede the run to stay out of the big inning.
Not a good swing. I don't change up.
Here's a situation where you just need a ground ball to score a run. It's completely fooled by that. Gibson doesn't throw a lot of straight changes, but Suzuki called one, and he got it close enough.
Well, situational hitting like this, that's just correctly phrased situational hitting. To be a situational hitter in a situational spot is that's foul. Watch out. Good catch. Whoa, right below us, one-handed.
And he had his sunglasses on just in case the sun was to peek out from behind the clouds.
And he just gave it to a youngster.
Nice stab left-handed.
That was a beautiful catch. About 12 feet from us. But getting back to the situational hitting, you have to have a technique for that.
It hit him.
Yeah, so he's going to go to first base. And that will load him up. That's just not going up there trying to get a base hit. That's going up there with a thought in mind, an approach in mind.
He was thinking about getting out of the way of this one, but he couldn't. So he winds up aboard, and that sends Suzuki out to the mound to talk with Gibson. What's been happening with him this year is he sails right along without any pressure put on him, but as soon as you start getting a few base runners, he will make some mistakes. So let's see if Tyler can take advantage of the young right-hander.
Tyler hitting at .214. He was 0 for 4 last evening. But he's been one of those streaks there that every time a pitch is close, the umpire gives it to the pitcher. All it has to do is be close. And hitters go through streaks like that. As you've been through streaks in your career, every time you got it close, it was a ball.
Sometimes, and sometimes conversely, every time it was close, they would hit the daylights out of it. The umpire would never have a chance to call it a strike.
Dempsey couldn't get it, huh?
That's true. LaRoche, Garcia, and Gillespie loading him up.
There's the night what I was just talking about. That ball's inside the zone. It was close, so it goes to Gibson. 1-1 to count. Big difference in 2-0.
There it was, down and in again.
Almost identical to the previous pitch.
Menard's pitch tracks will show you he loves to run that fastball down and into the right-hand hitters. And you got to do one of two things: either lay off it, or you're going to hit a ground ball on the left side.
Or you have the option also of backing off the plate, taking that pitch away from him. Ball up the middle, should be. So we have the bases loaded, 1 out, can't do anything with it, and after an inning and a half, still scoreless.
White Sox baseball season. The Pick 14 plan offers fans a flexible 14-game plan that features savings off individual game tickets. Pick 14 plans start as low as $110 per plan. For tickets or more information, visit whitesox.com or call 312-674-1000.
And the bat by Tyler Flowers are symptomatic. You know, Greg Gibson's behind the plate. He's a good umpire. But that 1-0 pitch just turned that whole bat around. Instead of being 2-0, it was 1-1. That gives Gibson enough impetus to go ahead and go down and in with that next sinker.
And unfortunately, it couldn't have been hit any better to turn 2. So once again, allowing a young pitcher to get off the hook early does not bode well.
Good umpires are not going to call 350 or 400 pitches a game, every one of them right. So here's Plouffe. He'll be followed by Suzuki and then Escobar. Trevor. Here's the bunt, and it's going foul, or else it would have been a tough play for Gillespie.
It's a good idea because the left side of the infield was back. Plouffe actually tried to make it better than he had to. He got that ball on the grass. No way anybody was going to get him.
Trevor hitting it 241, 3 homers, but he has upper deck power. Gray. 1 out. It's just like the game last night if you missed that game. Jim Joyce is a good umpire. Chris Sale had Joe Mauer struck out in the first inning. Pitch right down the middle.
Yes.
He didn't call it. He called it a ball. Instead of being struck out, he singled on the next pitch, knocked in a run. Turned that whole inning around. And possibly the whole game. So here's Suzuki hitting it 241 as well. A couple of homers. He's knocked in 9.
Kurt, a pretty dependable receiver against the Sox over the course of his career, hitting a robust 322, 257 against everybody else.
Micah 2 down.
Encouraging sign for Quintana tonight. He's getting that ball, throwing it, and keeping it in on the hands of the right-handers when he's had the opportunity. Eduardo had a couple of hits last night, drove in a couple of runs, and scored 2. It was a big night for him.
Escobar takes a strike. He was 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs last evening. He's faced Quintana 9 times and has 1 hit. Alexei guns it over and gets it. So a 1-2-3 inning, and we'll go to the 3rd, no score.
Miñoso and his number 9 is today's T-Mobile game changer. Before the game, all the players wore the familiar number 9. It says gracias. Many thanks to the whole lot of people who were touched by Minnie during the course of his wonderful career. Guy's not allowed to wear him during the game, but they all honored him before the game. He broke the color barrier for the White Sox in 1951 and was as exciting a player as there was. A lot of people will miss Minnie and what he represented to not only the White Sox but to all of baseball.
So here's Jimmy Shuck, 3 for 10 on the season. Takes first pitch strike. No score here in the top of the 3rd on just a lovely evening in Minneapolis. 66 degrees at game time.
Supposed to be more of the same tomorrow, with the biggest difference is it's supposed to get up to 80 degrees. I'll have to see that to believe it, but that's what they say.
There's a bunt. That's a good one, but Gibson very quickly makes a heck of a
play. JB did a good job, because the great bunters would tell you you have to hang around to get the ball down and then just try to beat the play. He did, got the ball down perfectly, but a big effort by Gibson. And Cal Gibson plays it perfectly.
So here's Micah. Struck out on a fastball his first trip, which was leading off the ball game. Foul tipped and hung on to by Kurt Suzuki. Nice gap out there in left center. Plouffe in on the grass at 3rd, and the count very quickly 0-2. And the reason I brought up the instance about last night's game with Mauer and that little after he got struck out is that's when you're playing bad baseball, that's the way things go for you. In this game, nobody gives you anything. You have got to make your own breaks. And when you're playing as poorly as we have, you don't get any breaks. If you do, they're all bad.
Well, if this team is as good as they believe they are and believed in spring training they were going to be, they're going to have to show the opponents just that. They're going to have to develop the arrogance that a winning team has. To do that, you're going to have to score some runs. You look much more aggressive when you're hitting. This team hasn't hit yet the way they can. But you'd have to believe with the quality of the hitters in this lineup, they're going to come around sooner rather than later.
Well, as he strikes out Michael for the second time, I love this ball club. And we're going to be fine. This is a good ball club. As I said last night, this is a very good baseball team playing very bad baseball. And it's not going to be the last time we do this throughout the course of the season. It's not going to be, as I told Chris after the game last night. Chris Sale had a tough outing. I told him, I said, this is not the last time this is going to happen to you. He started laughing. He said, I know my dad told me that too. But you got to just play, as Steve mentioned. You got to just play your way through it. You got to get down and dirty and play your way out of it. You don't earn respect. You got to go out and take it.
Yeah, we're talking with Bert Blyleven before the game about different eras in baseball. Not only did he throw 60 shutouts, but he completed 242 games. So you didn't need much of a bullpen when Bert went to the mound. But nowadays, you do.
Ball hit sharply. Santana cannot come up with it.
That's what Santana did most of the spring. That's one of the reasons why he didn't break with the club. And last year he played center field for this team.
That would have been a good play. There should be a base hit.
He would probably be the first to tell you that he should have had that.
Yeah. Well, if you're a major league shortstop, yeah. But it would have been a good play.
They're going to charge him with E6.
Yep. That's a borderline. Either way you go, you're not wrong. Melky takes strike one. He had a little soft line drive right off the end of the bat to Trevor Plouffe at third. Oh, and 2 the count.
Normally this is a pretty good pitch to run. Neil Allen, the pitching coach, most likely is the guy that's going to call pitch outs. Kurt Suzuki looking over there.
That's a good pitch to run on for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're 2 out. And you got a no 2 count on your hitter.
Bail out your number 3 hitter ahead of Abreu if you are thrown out. But Suzuki hasn't thrown anybody out yet.
You don't see very many 3 straight strike at bats.
No, they're always going to try to nip that. Another reason why the 0-2 pitch is a pretty good pitch to run. Good guys nipping at the zone and many times out of the zone in the dirt.
The ball hit hard right to the shortstop. Nothing across. We'll go to the bottom of the third. No score.
To look forward to Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Beautiful night for baseball. A few Sox fans in attendance. Perhaps more will drive up for the day game tomorrow. It's not all that far from Chicago, and we usually see a whole lot of Sox fans in attendance. This is a beautiful ballpark and a great city.
That'll be the lower third of their order. Vargas, Robinson, and Santana. Kenneth, Vargas, switch hitting, powerful man. Chops that one foul. Softly hit. One down.
If you're a college student or a recent grad determined to build a strong career in the sports industry, then you won't want to miss the White Sox Career Fair on Friday, May 22nd. Network with representatives from top sports organizations and stay to watch the game. Admission includes both a fair and a game ticket. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/job.
Center fielder Shane Robinson off to a good start at 342. No homers. He's driven in 6. 2 for 4 with an RBI last night. And also, he can go get him out there in center field. And he has a very strong arm, very accurate.
Learned his baseball coming up through the St. Louis Cardinal organization. When I talked with Joe McEwing about him, he said if he made it through the whole system and got to the major leagues, which he did, he is most likely fundamentally sound.
Well, he had a good head start on that being sound fundamentally under Mike Martin down at Florida State.
He was a good player for Florida State.
Yes, he was.
Real good player.
Mike Martin runs one of the best programs in the country. Fouls that back. When Bobby Winkles left Arizona State, Bobby was legendary at putting guys ready to play Major League Baseball in a hurry. They knew how to play the game. Mike Martin the same way. He gone.
Gotta like that high fastball when you get ahead. It's called higher than high. Tyler set up outside. Jose gets the high fastball, throws it right by him. And Jose is right. He's going to cut the ball in on the hands of the right-handers. When he goes to get him to strike him out, he's going to throw a lot of face-high fastballs and throw it by him.
That's a Doc Edwards swing right there.
That was the emergency hack, which means you're not looking for the pitch. You're certainly not looking for it in that place. And, well, then you do what you can. It doesn't work out well for you, but you do what you can.
This young man has a lot of talent. Danny Santana comes in hitting at 256. We saw him last year. He made a believer out of us. Last year, he had 319 in limited action with 7 homers and drove in 40.
Well, not many guys can be the starting center fielder and then move in and take over the starting shortstop. But that's what they envisioned for him all along.
Alexei on the move. And another nice 1, 2, 3 inning has retired the last 7 in a row. noon, we'll wrap the series up as our Sox square off with these Twins. Coverage begins at 12:30 with the White Sox pregame live presented by Lexus of Orland and Maryville on Comcast Sportsnet.
This is time to get something done. It's the heart of the order. Second time they're looking at Kyle Gibson, so they know now how well the ball sinks and how hard he throws it.
First pitch strike to Jose. He grounded out to Trevor Plouffe. Oh, and 2. Outfield shading him to the right. Kyle Gibson, 27 years old, out of Greenfield, Indiana.
He's a first-round draft pick for these Twins out of the University of Missouri.
One down.
On our Honda pitch tracks, we'll take a look at a slider kept low and out of the zone. Good pick by Suzuki. Jose lately, probably in an effort to try to make something happen, has gone well out of the zone. Swinging pitches that when he's right, he's not swinging at.
Well, that's part of that's symptomatic of when you're going bad. There's a comebacker. Adam, who singled back through the middle, his first at bat, now 1 for 2. All those things, all the little things like that, morph into a huge, huge slump.
Well, it's also magnified when you're just not scoring any runs. This team is last in the league in runs scored, last in the league in on base percentage, so they're not getting their walks, and it's been very tough.
Well, that was a big hurt Frank Thomas when he was with us. Most of the time when he went bad, it was because the other players were not hitting. So he expanded his zone, trying to do too much. Consequently, he went into a slump.
He's one of the better breaking ball hitters in the league. This year he's hitting .368 on anything breaking.
Well, I had a chance before the game to talk to the best breaking ball hitter that I ever saw and have ever seen to this day, and that was, of course, the great Tony Oliva. He was the best off-speed hitter, and yet, if you get a guy in that time zone, like a Dick Raditz or other guys who were just one-pitch pitchers who threw real hard, he could turn. You couldn't shoot a 30-30 by him. But he would foul off. When a guy had 3 or 4 pitches, he'd foul off the fastball over the third base dugout and keep fouling him off until you tried to trick him. And then he would unload on you. In fact, I asked Chris Kamker, our associate producer. Stu Miller from the Baltimore Orioles had one of the best changeups this game of baseball has ever seen. And Tony was 7 for 13 against him with a homer. Good check. But on our club, Abby has got a chance to be the best breaking ball hitter on the team. Oliva, the only player to lead the league in hitting in his first 2 seasons. That ball's hit right at him. Must have hang with him for Ivy. And a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Gibson. Novel. The Kentucky Derby is tomorrow, and did you know you can now watch and wager from the comfort of your living room? ExpressBet.com. Bet the race online, watch the race on NBC, and that's easy. ExpressBet.com.
The first time up, Quintana threw a fastball and got Dozier. You can probably do that going up and away. But if you're going to throw him a fastball, middle in, thigh high, he can unload as he did on Chris Sale last night. Hit 23 of them last year to go with 21 stolen bases.
Starts him off with a changeup.
Pretty good idea. He kept it out away from him. Hasn't been a real good average year for Dozier, but he's driven in 10 from the leadoff spot. That's pretty good.
Well, talking with Paul Molitor before the game, and if you're going about who's undermanned a little bit in our division, this is Minnesota. They have some good young promising players. But one thing about it, they have been giving him 27 outs. That ball's hit hard right to Alexei. And that's all the manager can ask. Just give me 27 outs. And even a lot of the losses of their 12, they're 10 and 12. They've been in those ball games.
Well, this is the first year that Paul is managing, the first time he's managed anywhere. And I asked him, what's the biggest adjustment for you? And he said, slowing down the game. He says, at times the game moves very quickly when you're a first-year manager, especially with no experience. So he felt that he had some pretty good help with his coaching staff. Feels very comfortable with Neil Allen, the first-year pitching coach. Very comfortable with Eddie Guardado, who's the bullpen coach and a really good reliever in his time.
Well, there's two good bullpen coaches in this ball game tonight. Bobby Thigpen and Eddie Guardado.
Well, they both would take the baseball because you don't get the nickname of Everyday Eddie unless you're out there a lot.
And they would both go out there with nothing and still get the save. Torrey can't get it.
There's a look at Eddie.
He was a good one. As was our Bobby Thigpen. Figgy would put you on the edge of your seat a lot of times because he works so much. But he would get out of it. Big stones.
Torrey Hunter, the most career hits against our Sox. Victor Martinez right there. Just missed twice on the inside part of the plate. And there's a look at Mark Salas on the left, Bobby Thigpen on the right. Good combination in that bullpen. And this year they've got quite a pen to work with.
Well, it's the first time since Thiggy's been here. Just got a piece of it.
This whole at bat has been down in the zone for Jose, who got one pitch up last at bat, and Hunter took it right back through the middle. You can see on the pitch tracks that he stayed down. He's moved it in and out, but he stayed down the entire at bat.
And once again, the payoff. And there's another base hit.
Again, he got one up. Wasn't up high, but it was probably just below the waist. And he's 2 for 2.
The only 2 hits the Twinkies have.
You look at the location after everything down in the at bat. He gets most of the middle of the plate, just below the waist. And Hunter, who still has some life, takes it back up the middle.
So here's Mauer. He hit the ball hard his first time up, but Alexei was playing him perfectly and turned it into a 6-3 double play.
There was a time when you really had to worry about Torrey Hunter when he got on. But not these days.
Well, there's a big difference in with nobody on. They're still hitting a lot off Jose. They're hitting 298. But with men on base, you're hitting 349. He really slows it down. First walk issued by Quintana. So 1 out, 2 on, and that'll bring up Trevor Plouffe, who popped up to Abreu.
And despite the fact that Plouffe does not have the best speed in the world, he's only grounded into 1 double play this year.
Well, he had a good pitch to hit right there and was underneath it.
That was a fastball right down the middle. Not exactly where Jose wanted it. You see where it appears? Fortunately, he was a little tardy. He's playing a very shallow shortstop. Thinking about the double play.
There's the strike. So 1 out, 2 on, 2-2 the count. Kansas City leading Detroit 4-0, top of the 4th at Kauffman Stadium.
Danny Duffy was brilliant last night. And it's Chris Young tonight.
And it's a full count here to Plouffe. Cleveland leading Toronto 9-4, top of the 7th at Progressive Field.
They were losing that game 4-1. They've come roaring back. This is a big pitch in the ball game because a man on deck has really hurt the Sox over the course of his career. That's Kurt Suzuki.
Yes, he did. Oh, close. And back-to-back walks will load him up.
We'll slow it down and look at it from the side.
He stopped it.
And show you the view that Marvin Hudson had, and he did not swing. That ball was down and out of the zone.
He stopped it.
So Jose in trouble. He's in trouble with a good double play target in Suzuki. If you can get him to hit the ball on the ground. Kurt's grounded into 4 double plays. Far and away the leader on this team in the early going.
He grounded out to Micah Johnson his first trip. Sox packed with Twinkies.
Then Cooper's going to come out. Doesn't want this one to get away from Jose, who's been missing inside this inning. Every pitching coach comes out and he wants to leave you with something positive. So he wants to tell you, keep this ball down, get the ground ball, we'll turn the double play, you'll get out of the inning.
And maybe add, hey, let's speed it up a little bit. You're out of rhythm.
He's talked to him a whole lot about that. But
he talks to him almost every game.
Threw that high fastball by him. It was on the outer portion of the plate.
Well, the Plouffe, he was nibble, 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 as he was to Mauer. So he's coming right at him.
He kept this one up and away. And he fouled it straight back.
1-2 the count. And it's 2-2. You want to take him right here. You don't want to go full. That hitter with a 2-2 count versus the 3-2 with the bases loaded. He's got a much bigger strike zone, 2-2.
Spun him out of there as he missed up and in.
And that's a souvenir right side.
He's got everything up this whole at bat.
Payoff pitch. Yes, he did. He gone. 2 down.
He cuts this one low and in, and fortunately Suzuki can't check his swing. Nice stop by Tyler Flowers. Doesn't try to catch it, make sure that he blocks it. Now 1 out away from getting out of a huge jam.
Here's Escobar at Eduardo. Grounded out to Alexi. Takes first pitch strike. Nice little breaking ball.
Career with the bases loaded for Eduardo has been very good. 353. Well, he's off to a slow start this year.
Alexei barehands it, goes to first, and he beats it out. It's 1-0.
I think Alexei would like a replay on that. He believes that they had it.
From up here, I thought they had it.
Now he skips it across by design. This is not that he can't get a lot on it. He just feels that he's going to pick up maybe another 6 inches on the skip. Call made by Marvin Hudson.
Well, it has to be conclusive, and they're going to challenge it. Now, again, we were told something we did not know, especially after that controversial call, is that there are 2 cameras run by MLB in every ballpark for every game that we do not get to see the angles. He's out.
It looked like he had him. It looked like the ball was in the glove while the foot was ready to come down on the bag.
That's what it looked like in real time.
Yep. Well, Alexei right away went and looked in the dugout, asking Robin to come out. You might want to take a look and appeal this one. This, quite obviously, a huge call.
He's out. All right. He pitches out of it. And we'll go to the 5th. Still scoreless.
Mexican Heritage at the ballpark on May 5th with Cinco de Miller, presented by Miller Lite. The White Sox are offering specially priced tickets to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Get to the ballpark early for a pregame on-field musical performance. You can enjoy Tex-Mex treats during the game and stay late for a postgame fireworks show set to Mexican music presented by Miller Lite. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/Cinco.
1-0 pitch to Gillespie. It's 2-0. Connor was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning. No score if you're just tuning. Beautiful play by Alexei. That ball's hit hard. Stay in the air. Stay in the air. Back, and Torrey makes the catch. What new?
Terrific play by Torrey Hunter. And Connor Gillespie hit the daylights out of that one.
And Torrey hit the daylights out of the fence.
He went back, not thinking about the collision with the wall, thinking about a baseball that he had to snag out of the air. He's done this so many times during the course of his career. And this time, right at the 365 triangle, he whacks it with his right shoulder but holds on.
Well, he's been one of the great outfielders in the last 50 years.
Gets a hand from the crowd. When he was here the first time, they won 4 division titles. And he was a big part of each and every one of them.
I think maybe a good way to frame it is that they probably would not have won any of them without him.
And the fact that he was always a team leader just added to what he brought to the ball club.
There's a base hit back to the middle, so that's our 3rd hit. And now that catch by Torrey Hunter even larger.
JB made a terrific bunt the first time up, but Gibson was a little bit better. He came in, got it, did not rush himself, just made a strong throw.
Takes ball 1.
Kurt Suzuki has called a number of straight changes when he's been behind. Not this time, however. This looks like the sinker away.
The 2-0 pitch. Mauer with a brilliant play. That's just a beautiful play by the big first baseman.
Joe Mauer making the conversion to first base rather smoothly. Good quick moves to his right. This is a phenomenal high school athlete in St. Paul. Certainly saves a base hit. And undoubtedly Flowers would have wound up at third base.
So 2 sensational plays. One by Hunter and one by Mauer. And here's Micah Johnson.
Here's the second running opportunity Sox have had. They didn't run when Ramirez got on in the 3rd inning. That was also with 2 outs. Good base running situation here. Put the pressure on Suzuki. Gibson is using a slide step, so he's trying to speed up his motion. At 6'6", it's difficult to be quick to the plate. But he knows he's got a catcher that doesn't have a cannon for an arm.
Two and 0. Each team has had the bases loaded with less than 2 out, and nobody's been able to cross home plate. We had it loaded back in the 2nd inning. Double play took care of that. And of course they just had it loaded in the bottom of the 4th.
Very good chance that Gibson could sense that Chuck was going to run. He went over to first base with what for him was his best move. He does set up to take his stretch on the first base side of the pitching rubber, which might make him a little quicker.
For a big guy, he's got pretty quick feet.
Shuck has gotten back easily a couple of times, so normally that means you can take another half step on the lead.
Two out, 2-1 to count. He's got a little bigger lead there. Dozier. We're halfway home, no score. Thank you very much. As Kenneth Vargas will lead it off here in near half of the fifth inning. Vargas hit a little soft comebacker to Quintana his first trip. 2-0 the count.
Here's where you got to make a pitch, because Vargas does have big power. He's not off to a good start, but if you make a mistake, he can hit it about as far as anybody. He got that fastball in, which was a good spot for it on 2-0 when a hitter is looking fastball. He got the fastball. He just didn't want it in that spot.
Good strike. That bat in his hands looked like a pea shooter.
Good big man.
Breaking ball, chops it foul. So the count hangs it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Get any explanation about why guys are using a thinner handle these days? Used to be in years past there was a lot thicker bats, and now the handles are very, very thin.
The majority of them, yeah. The bottle bat's gone the way of almost the extinct route. There's a solid single to center.
There's only been 3 hits. All of them have been with 2 strikes, and this is probably too good a pitch in this situation. He threw right down the middle, and Vargas took it right back up the middle.
Most of the time, the big handle bats, like your U1s, that was really made famous by Nellie Fox. And of course, going back before him, they had a lot of guys that used big handle bats. The majority of them used big handle bats back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And there's a base hit in the hole by Robinson. So the first 2 men aboard, trouble a brewing.
Well, it's going to be interesting if Paul Molitor, who was an excellent butter, but also a great hitter, if he decides that he wants Santana to lay one down.
Molitor was one of the best fastball hitters to ever play the game.
Danny Santana has 3 sacrifices this year, leading the team in that department, and this is a situation in a 0-0 game that cries out for a bunt. With that in mind, Connor Gillespie going to talk with Quintana just exactly how they want to defend this. You don't have a real fast man at second base, so if you want to, with a pitcher who falls off the mound to the third base side anyway, you can have Jose break to the line, have Gillespie stay back, and try to get the force out at third.
So the corners are going to be in close, and we'll see if Paul Molitor thinks or knows if he can bunt or not. Well, he's got 3 sacrifices this year. He had 2 last year. So he's probably going to be bunting. Didn't break it down. Do it one more time. Jose, quick step off. He's not bunting, and he takes the ball.
Gene Gwynn, the third base coach. He's coached a number of teams in the major leagues.
Santana did not break it down again. Outfield straight up. Uh-oh. 2-0. He's not going to be bunting now.
You would think at least that he would force Quintana to throw 1 strike. But in many instances, this will be the best pitch he's going to get to hit.
Well, Molitor, as I mentioned, one of the best fastball hitters to play the game, and especially when he was ahead 2-0-3-1. So he's probably going to manage the same way.
He let him go, and he swung at a pitch way out of the zone. Fortunately, he was not taking all the way.
And ironically, one of the best offensive managers to ever manage the game of baseball was a guy who couldn't hit a lick. Tony La Russa.
Sounds a little like the Earl Weaver story.
He gone. Comes back from a 2-0 count.
Somewhat surprising, the fact that Molitor, with his best bunter up, doesn't bunt with him, and Jose just throws a fastball right by him. Best fastball he's thrown, 93 miles an hour. He had done that twice tonight, and this one in a perfect spot.
Well, here's one of the best fastball hitters they have on the team, maybe the best.
And despite his speed, he has grounded into 2 double plays this year.
Dozier is going out to right, hit the ball hard, but he just doesn't carry out there, and then he grounded to short.
Chris Sale tried to get a fastball by him last night and couldn't do it. It was down and out over the plate. This made it 9-2 at the time. It was after a succession of balls just out of reach, just over the head of the infielders, and that was the 3rd home run Dozier has had in his brief career against Chris Sale.
Not his best swing, in the count 0-2.
After a fastball, he throws that cutter down and in. And Dozier wasn't even close.
No. Regardless of what happens right here, he had a good pitch to hit and missed it.
Pretty decent idea of Tyler Flowers is Micah Johnson was going toward the bag. Vargas trying to get a good secondary lead. We told he doesn't have much speed. And he straight off the bag.
Well, he slipped trying to get back down there.
A good distance.
If they make a throw down there, he's probably going to get it. That ball hit hard into center field, but we got a man there. As they go to the wrong base.
Not the play you want to make. The odds of J.D. Shuck throwing out Vargas are slim and none. You want to make sure you get this ball into second base. Robinson does the right thing. He tags up. He reads where the throw is going and realizes that it's going to airmail Ramirez. So you don't hit the cutoff man. You allow 90 feet. And what happens is you take yourself out of a force-out situation. Not a real good play right there.
Again, symptomatic. So here is Torre. He's 2 for 2. 2 singles back through the middle. And he takes strike 1. And a count 0-2.
He tried to jump on a high fastball that time.
Too high.
This is not a bad time for a slider in the dirt, if you're trusting that Tyler's going to be able to knock it down.
It's 1-0.
Threw it in the dirt, and he couldn't knock it down.
That's why I hate that pitch. With 2 outs. That pitcher gets in a lot of trouble a lot of times.
It's going to be a wild pitch, the first of the year for Quintana.
Torrey trying to say he fouled it. And now Paul's going to come out.
Telling Greg Gibson and swearing that he fouled it.
Well, Greg, I think that I didn't hear a thing when Paul first got out there. He gone.
It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moment, and it's a play that Alexei Ramirez made with the bases loaded to save at least one run. The slide, the plant, and the skip across just barely gets Escobar at first base. Now, he was originally called safe. On the appeal, it was ruled that he was indeed out, and Jose gets out of a bases loaded one-out jam with a sparkling play by Alexei Ramirez.
So he's had two very stressful innings in a row. The fourth and now the fifth. And we're into the sixth, trailing 1-0. Alexei is 0 for 2 tonight. Start us off right here. Breaking ball strike. A big 6'6" right-hander.
Hit Eduardo Escobar deep and surprisingly over toward the line in left field. That's what the defensive charts tell Paul Molitor where to line up his outfield. Normally you don't see a left fielder on a right-hand hitter that close to the line.
That changeup way out in front.
That changeup is a Neil Allen special. When he came over, and this is the first year he's been a major league pitching coach, he tried to impress upon all of his pitchers to refine and perfect the straight change.
Well, my former partner, and God rest his soul, Don Drysdale, was a big proponent of that. And he said, which is something you're going to find contrary to your own personal self, is that's Santana, high throw, and they don't get him. So a good job by Alexei. Seeing Mauer having to go up, he goes down.
That is the only time you should be sliding or diving into first base. That's if you can tell the first baseman is getting ready to come off the bag and you want to avoid the tag.
And that picture right there should show you should not be sliding head first in first base.
That's the 7th error Santana has made in this young season.
And this is going to be a rack 'em up. Second double play we've hit into. The first one was the bases loaded, one out back in the second inning. So here's Abreu.
And that's one of the beauties of a sinker ball pitcher, is if you throw a lot of ground balls, you can get out of what would normally be pretty tough innings with a double play ground ball. And there's been a lot of ground balls off Gibson in this game.
Jose is grounded to third and struck out. He brought up a very, very interesting point last at bat, that somebody's got to tell him, Jose, look, stay in your zone. Stay in your zone.
Yeah,
don't expand that zone. Well, don't try to hit a home run every time you go up there when nobody's on.
No, and you know he's over anxious. He is the leader of this team, and if you look at his percentage of runs batted in and compare it to just about everybody else in baseball, he's not at the top, but he's in second position.
Not to go unsaid in this game, as Suzuki is really working Gibson nicely.
Well, he knows his strength. His strength is down and into the right-hand hitters, and more times than not, he goes there when he goes with the sinker.
That's the one thing the great Ted Williams always said. You've got to take your walks.
And as you can see, the highest percentage of team runs batted in, he is second behind Cruz of Seattle.
As he strikes him out on a bad pitch. So we'll go to the bottom of 6. It's 1-0 Minnesota.
For Back to the Future night, as the White Sox are celebrating the 30th anniversary of the hit film Back to the Future. Activities include a chance to visit the DeLorean time machine and a post-game fireworks show set to the Back to the Future soundtrack presented by UI Health. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos.
Joe Mauer will lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A run on 4 hits, 2 errors for them. No runs, just 3 hits, no errors for us. Both teams have stranded 4. Curveball strike.
Howard's been especially hot. He's been a good hitter all year, but he's been especially hot over the last couple of weeks.
That ball into left field. That's a can of corn. So he's 0 for 2 with a walk. And that'll bring up Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe has popped up to Abreu, and he has walked.
He's probably going to be looking early in the count to try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. It's a 1-0 game, and he is one of their most prolific home run hitters. Nick Petrichka starting to loosen in the bullpen. He picked up an inning last night. It's not a good one.
That's a base hit.
He got the ground ball he wanted. We'll see how it's scored.
Well, they're not going to give him an error on that one. So here's Suzuki. He's grounded to second and struck out.
And it is a base hit.
Yankees leading Boston 3-2. That game in the top of the 8th. At Fenway, Joe Girardi is becoming one of the better managers in the game. He's had to the last couple of years to have that club a little over 500 with the stuff he's been having to run out there.
I think last year was arguably the best year he's ever had because he didn't have much.
The last game we played him, I told Joe that. I said, Joe, that stuff you've been running out there and you're over 500, you've done your job.
Even this year, starting pitching has been a mystery for him, and yet he's got that team entering tonight's play at 13-9.
First place in the East. There's the strike.
This one has the inside corner. Keller frames it pretty well. I had a talk with Rick Dempsey, who was one of the best catchers around. 24 years in the major leagues, and he told me that he used to practice catching the ball and just moving his wrist toward the plate. He didn't move the glove, he just moved his wrist. If it was up, he'd move his wrist down. If it was down, he'd move his wrist up. That way you absorb the baseball, but you also, without moving your glove, actually take it into the zone, and you can steal a whole lot of strikes for your starting pitcher.
I never saw a catcher steal more strikes than Rick Dempsey.
Well, he told me the whole thing is something that catchers don't do a lot of. You see catchers try to yank the ball back in the zone, but he said he would sit in the bullpen, catch pitchers, and practice just moving his wrist in whatever direction the strike zone happened to be. And he said that kind of subtlety will get you many more pitches than yanking it back to the zone.
Well, you got some umpires, if you yank it or drag it back in there real quick, whatever, boy, they don't like that at all. No. And anything close, they're not going to give you. That ball's hit way back, but we got a man there. And he will get it back in. That was one of Suzuki's best shots. This ballpark just does not care.
He's got a couple of home runs. I'm not thinking they were here unless he took them down the lines, but he's not going to hit them out in the alleys.
Well, you can hit line drives out here, but you're not going to hit high fly balls unless you got real power. Escobar 0 for 2 twice. Alexi's got him. Both times he made a good play. Once with 2 out, bases loaded, which we showed you an inning ago. One 1-0 with 2 out, 1 on. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
On the pitch track shows you that this one was in the zone. And he didn't get it.
Two and one. Cleveland beats Toronto 9-4 at Progressive Field. Kansas City still shutting out Detroit 4-0. It's in the bottom of the 6th at Kauffman Stadium. Micah Johnson, good job of keeping that ball from going into center field. And low throw by Tyler.
And Trevor Plouffe, without real good speed, realizing that he's going to be dead to rights. He thought that ball would be further away from Tyler than it wound up. So he decides to just take off. And Micah with a good pick on the third base side of second.
So the 2-2 pitch. He gone. Curveball down. And we're into the 7th, but we trail it 1-0.
Desire to be active and continue doing the things you love. Visit Athletico.com and start defining your pain-free inner athlete today. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of the Chicago White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody.
Well, we didn't get but 2 runs last evening. And we got 2 runs on Monday in the only game we played in Baltimore. We have none tonight through 6. So it's time that we do put some points on the board. Here's Adam. He's 1 for 2. Takes that curveball strike.
Now they've changed the shift against him. When he got the base hit, they were playing Santana on the third base side of second. Now he's on the second base side, which is probably for a dead pull hitter where you want him.
One thing about Gibson, he's been missing low.
Had a good night tonight, and that's really been
a terrific night.
His MO this year.
Well,
he has great nights and terrible nights and not much in between.
Well, he's catching us at a good time. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. 1 out.
One of the teams you might not want to catch at this part of the year is Houston, who's becoming one of the biggest stories in all of baseball. They're bidding for their 8th win in a row. They're 15-7, and they're winning again tonight. Altuve, their little second baseman, is hitting everything in sight.
Boy, he's a good little player. I love to watch him play.
He's had 6 multi-hit games in a row.
First time we played them when he was there, after the last game of the series, I went in the clubhouse and I went over to him and I said, Jose, I said, you just stay right where you're at, buddy. You got a chance to be a heck of a player. He just smiled. He's a little bitty bit of a thing.
he can run, he can field, and he can really hit.
Well, he and Dustin Pedroia are probably 2 best high fastball hitters in the league. That's going foul. Javi is 1 for 2, and he's hit both of them right on the money. He just hit a bomb line drive over the head of Robinson in center field for a double. That was back in the 2nd. And in the 4th, he hit a bullet right at Robinson.
The big gap is in left center.
That's high. Full count.
Gibson's only averaged 5 1/3 innings per start. This being his 5th start of the year. And no activity in that bullpen yet.
And there is ball 4. That's the first walk of the game issued by Kyle.
That's been the biggest problem this year. Coming in 22 1/3 innings, he had 12 walks, but we haven't seen any evidence of wildness tonight.
How many mistakes have you seen him make tonight?
Not many.
Not many at all.
And he hasn't made them out over the plate. He's made them. He's got it down. He's thrown it up and out of the zone. And as you can see, he's been fairly consistent with his pitch counts.
Well, I hadn't seen him hang one curveball.
Nope.
Hadn't seen him get one changeup up and out over the plate. As here is Connor. He was hit by a pitch, and then he was robbed of extra bases. There's a solid single in the center.
Well, there was a mistake.
Let's keep talking about it.
And that's really could be the sign that he might be tiring. Suzuki called a sinker away. He set up away, and our Toyota pitch tracks will show you a fastball right down the middle that Connor took right back up the middle. Well, a chance to get on the board here in the 7th. And for the first time, the Minnesota pen starts to stir.
So here's Tyler. He's 1 for 2. He hit into that bases loaded double play back in the second. Then he singled in the fifth. Look at the play by Plouffe. Beautiful play. They have thrown some leather. Wow. Mauer, Plouffe, and that terrific catch by Torrey Hunter in right field.
This one with a lot of overspin on it. Plouffe able to smother it. But they can't turn two.
Here's Shuck. JB was robbed of a base hit on that play by Mauer, which would have put Tyler at third base. And which would have scored Gillespie with not the catch by Torrey Hunter.
Both pens up and going. It's Putnam and Jennings.
Runners at the corners, 2 down, 1-1 to count.
Tonkin, the right-hander. And looks like Thompson, the left-hander.
Come on, JB. Right man, right spot, right time, right now. 2-1.
Gibson is not nearly as comfortable trying to get the ball inside to the left-hand hitter as he is keeping the ball away from them. He is what's called arm side strong, which would be away to the left-handers and in to the right-handers.
And there's a little looper caught, and that thread is gone. 7th inning stretch, 1-0 Minnesota.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replays, and it's Jose Quintana walking the high wire act and getting out of the fourth. Fine play here. The fifth with a strikeout, and the sixth with a strikeout. He's given up one, and that's been it.
And that's trouble. Here's a throw. He gone. Beautiful, beautiful peg. One down.
Avi has all the best of it. Going to his right, able to plant and make a pinpoint throw. Vargas is no match for the arm of Garcia. Not only strong, but in this case, extremely accurate, and Vargas is cut down. That's a big, big play.
Well, we've got three. We saw a bad throw last night by Adam, but that's the exception to the rule. We got three guys that have strong arms and are accurate. Shane Robinson has struck out and he has singled.
Alexei made sure that the glove was there, so much so that he got stepped on. It looked like Vargas was trying to stomp on him.
Well, he had to keep the glove down with 255 pounds on him.
Yeah, couldn't bring it up once he's standing on it. But there was no doubt about that tag. Jose's had a terrific night on the mound. He's made some big pitches when he's had to. He walked a couple. They came in the same inning, which helped load the bases, but then he struck out Suzuki and got Escobar to ground out.
Gets him. 2 now.
Bullpen has been up once. Jose seemingly having things well in hand at the 102 pitch mark.
Well, whatever Coop told him. He listened and he applied. Coop went out there in that fourth.
Just one wild pitch, the difference in this one.
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes in those situations, especially when you got 0-2, 1-2, that breaking ball in the dirt is a good pitch. Other times it is a horrible pitch. Chopper to Hopper. Beautiful peg by Yasiel Garcia. And we're into the 8th.
The ultimate all-inclusive White Sox experience at the Home Plate Club or Magellan Scout Seats. These two premium seating areas are the best way to entertain your most important clients, employees, friends, or family. For more information, call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com/premium seating.
Top of the order here in the top of the 8th. Micah Johnson, Alexa Ramirez, and Melky Cabrera. Sounds like a good combination to get something going. Micah 0 for 3.
I can't believe Paul Molitor is going to be overly patient with his young right-hander, but he's been in command so far, and the bullpen has not been all that good. They do have a very good closer, however, and Glenn Perkins. The question is, do they have somebody consistently to get him the ball?
That ball hit in the left center field, but Escobar is there. 1 out.
They've stayed away from the first ball fastball to Alexi tonight. He's seen a whole lot of sliders and one straight change. Is Boyer and Thompson loosening in the pen?
Ball hit hard. Plouffe. That's a nice play. That ball is called.
He got lucky there because he went with the first ball fastball, and Lexi hit the daylights out of it. But Trevor Plouffe made another fine play at third. That's a rocket. He was even with the bag, and the rest is easy.
So 2 quick outs, and here is Melky. Melky's 0 for 3. Off the end of the bat. That didn't take long. And we're still trailing 1-0.
And the night is over for Jose Quintana, who threw the ball brilliantly, but He will give way to Zach Putnam on for the 8th time. ERA 5.68. He's only walked 1 while fanning 7 and 6 1/3. And he's got a very simple job. But it starts at the top of the order. You got to hold him right here and try to get at Glenn Perkins, their closer, who's got 6 saves this year.
Dozier, Hunter, and Mauer. Another good job by Kim Town.
Back-to-back strong performances.
Yeah.
Kansas City last time. And tonight, just one wild pitch separates these two teams.
One and one to count. And the count 1-2. Dozier's going out to right. Hit that ball hard, but he got it up. Then he grounded to short, and he went out to center. Tomorrow day game. It'll be a 1:10 start. WGN. And on Sunday, another 1:10 start. And that game right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. Then an off day on Monday. And then we have 3 with Detroit and 3 with Cincinnati on our 6-game homestand. Can't get him.
Dozier didn't pick up where the ball was initially, and Zach Putnam couldn't get to it. When Zach couldn't get to it, turned into a base hit. Hits it off the end of the bat, and the inability to come up with it puts a good base stealer at first base in a situation where you'd have to figure somewhere early in the count he's going to be going. He's 1 for 1 this year. This team has not been overly aggressive. When they've run, they haven't run well. They've swiped 6 bags. They've been caught 7 times.
Torres 2 for 3. There he goes. And Tyler whiffed on it.
There's going to be a stolen base. Tough ball to handle. Most likely would not have had him anyway. But he winds up in scoring position. Torrey Hunter is going to be doing everything he can to hit this ball to the right side. I'd be shocked if he pulled it.
I'd be shocked if he didn't get him over. Torrey will do that on his own in games like this, close. No, before you can be aggressive on the base paths, you got to have some guys who can run, because Molitor could run. All he did was have 504 stolen bases in his career.
He could run. There wasn't anything he couldn't do.
No, he was a great player. That's the reason he's in Cooperstown. Three and 0 the count. Mauer on deck. There's one.
Just the bottom part of the zone.
So the first 2 men aboard. And Mauer's not going to see Zach Putnam. And Robin, that slow walk to the mound. And he has made the call to the pin. So Putnam gives up that little scratch infield single. Dozier walks Hunter. He departs now. We'll be back.
Sox Pride Club for exclusive monthly ticket opportunities featuring locked-in seating locations along with game day audio, membership gifts, and much more, all for just $29.95. Visit SoxPrideClub.com to join today. And Robin has gone to the left-hander, Zach Duke, coming in. They go head-to-head with Joe Mauer with runners at first and second, nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning with a 1-run deficit. You can ill afford to fall any deeper behind, and a tough man at bat in Joe Mauer.
.319 career hitter. Mauer is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Takes first pitch strike.
Mauer's already grounded into 1 double play tonight, only the second he's grounded into this year. What a good time for the 3rd double play.
Breaking ball lays off that one. Here it is. Rack him up. Yes. 2 down.
Lexi in a perfect spot. It's the second double play and the second 6-3 double play he's grounded into tonight. Mauer hits it pretty well for getting it off the fists.
Lexi
right there.
Zach made a real good pitch on it.
Yeah, he did. He got inside on a very good hitter.
You got to get inside on those good hitters. You get the ball out of the plate, as you well know. When you miss out there,
now he's too tough to left and left center field.
So here's Plouffe. He's 1 for 2. Popped up to first, walked, and had an infield single. 1-7-2 for them. 0-4-0 for us. Good play by Tyler.
Zach tries to get this one low and in. Tyler able to shift to his left and stop the ball from getting by.
Checks it up.
There is Glenn Perkins. He of the 1-point ERAs and 6 saves in 9 innings of work.
Full count. Outfield straight up, spread out about equidistant. And the payoff pitch. He gone. Boy, what a pitch right there. The old backdoor curveball. Grab some bench. Tip your cap. Meanwhile, we'll go to the 9th. It'll be Abreu, LaRoche, and Garcia.
...2015 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected to the White Sox all season wherever you are with MLB.tv Game of the Day. In-game highlights, live look-ins, replay previews, radio broadcasts, and more. Browse the app's new features, including StatCast, tracking videos, and bilingual access for Spanish-speaking fans. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. And so, Glenn Perkins comes in the ball game looking for his 7th save, but he's got to go right through the heart of the order.
Takes ball 1. Jose 0 for 3 tonight. Grounder to third, a couple of strikeouts. As the count moves to 2-0. Taking all the way and right down the gut.
Perkins was a decent enough starter before they turned him into a closer. He probably picked up 4 miles an hour.
3-1. Yeah, as a starter, he was just so-so.
They have a decent left-hander, get the ball over, but didn't have any kind of stuff to really jump out at.
In other words, when you came to the ballpark, though, you thought you were going to beat him. He's there as a strike, and the count goes full. Meanwhile, you get out in that bullpen, and poof.
The game a good one.
He's a Mark Burley lookalike. Throws a little harder. Payoff.
Perkins last year had 34 saves, 3.65 ERA in 63 games, so he was a busy man. He walked only 11 while fanning 66.
Hit him on the fist, pops him up. Mauer. 1 out. Adam takes strike one. He's 1 for 3. Get in the hole. It will. So the tying run aboard.
Now we'll see a pinch runner. That's the first one that's been drilled by Mauer tonight. He's been very good defensively, but couldn't get to that one. So Emilio Bonifacio comes on, carrying with him the tying run.
And here's the man who's been swinging the best bat. Avi is 1 for 2 with a walk, but he has hit it right on the money both times. Once a double over the head of the center fielder, Shane Robinson. Next time hit a rocket right at Shane.
And you got plenty of room to dump the ball in front of the outfielders because they are exceptionally deep all the way around in a no double set.
Takes it up high. Don't get picked off over there, Emilio.
Emilio's taking a very big lead. Gordon Beckham in the on deck circle.
They get Bonifacio, so 2 down. And tonight, after the Hawks and Wild face-off in Game 1, change the channel to CSN Chicago for instant reaction, highlights, and more on Blackhawks post-game live presented by Hawk Ford. After every playoff game right here on Comcast Sports Net. So here's Beckham. Hitting for Gillespie. Gillespie was 1 for 2. One of the big plays in this ball game was that brilliant catch that Torrey Hunter made off of him. And Connor was leading off the 5th inning. Jacks it up and takes ball 1.
Perkins isn't throwing quite as hard tonight as we've seen him. We've seen him as high as 96, 97 last year coming in. This year the fastballs have been 93, and occasionally he's gotten them up there 94.
That's swung on and fouled back.
Escobar could hardly get any deeper in left field. He's almost on the warning track.
There's a base hit into left field. As he bobbles the ball, Savi now is going to be now held at third base. On the base hit by Gordon Beckham.
Going to be probably single E7. Putting the go-ahead run into scoring position as Gordon comes through. Escobar, who was very deep, can't handle it. For a moment, I think Avi thought there was a chance to score. But Escobar, who's got a strong arm, gets it back into Santana. And Avi taking a look. Now he's thinking about scoring until Joe McEwing holds him up.
So Paul Molitor, the skipper, out. Talks to his closer right here. Tyler Flowers is the hitter. J.B. Shuck on deck. Well, you hit it right on the head. Last year he was 95, 96, 97.
Yeah, he's down a little bit.
Yeah.
At least tonight he is.
Come on, Tyler, one time, buddy. We need you. Tyler 1 for 3 tonight.
Ought to probably ask Perkins, you got first base open, what do you want to do? With the left-hander on deck and Gio Soto as the right-hand hitter left on the bench. And I think he's showing you what he wanted to do. He wants to go right at Tyler Flowers.
And this ball game is over. So we lose this one 1-0 on a wild pitch in the 5th inning. But the story is this is our 3rd game on this road trip. And in the last 27 innings, we have scored 4 runs.
Great pitching tonight by Quintana. Unfortunately, you've got to score to win. The offense is dormant, and it's got to turn around here pretty soon.
The bright spot, Jose Quintana once again pitched well. But they win it 1-0. And our player of the game is Kyle Gibson. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Ancio, our producer Todd Benjaminson, our associate producer Chris Campbell, our technical manager Mark Harper, and also for Teresa Day, Jim Vitros, Brad Simon, Chris Trudeau, and our executive producer Jim Corno Jr. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.